Well, I think that artists should be paid, and you can pay yourself. The easiest way to have a sustained life as an artist is to build some sort of sustainable business around your art, hire yourself and pay yourself a good salary, then you can never be fired. And then you can very quickly get to the place that feels like being wealthy.
Welcome to another CG garage where the monstrous moon shines. We're building new Hollywood like in 1971's prime. From authors' bold dreams to AI's fever dream, where tech meets the silver or LED screen. Pixels and passion are pipelines unknown to host one show on a deadline postponed.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the CG Garage. This is episode number 545, featuring Victor Varnado, who is a fascinating person. He has been doing all kinds of things in the industry. He's been a producer, he's been an actor, he's been a stand-up comedian, he's just started film festivals, he's done all kinds of creative things. He's worked with people like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Werner Herzog, of all people. And the thing that I think is most important about what he has shown us in this podcast is to be an entrepreneur as a creative, find the things that you love and somehow turn those into things that you can make money over and have control over your own destiny. Especially nowadays, I mean, I guess I've been hearing tons of meetings and I keep thinking of a South Park episode, the underwear gnomes. Instead of using underwear, you can think of people as phase 1 AI, phase 3 profit, but no one actually knows what they're doing. And what Victor is basically telling us, like, do what you love regardless of the tools. If it happens to be AI, great. If not, just keep figuring out what you can do. And that's the most important thing that you need to do in this industry or in any industry, especially in the creative part of things. So I think that is a really, really great advice. And thank you, Victor, so much for coming on to this episode. Now, I will be in NAB as of this podcast coming out. I should be there by then. And I'll probably be bringing my podcast gear with me. So if you happen to be at NAB, I'd love to catch up with you. Just shout out to us. We would love to connect. So best way to connect is through our email, podcast@cggarage.com. You can also just go to cggarage.com to check out the latest episodes. Don't forget to go to our YouTube. That is youtube.com/@cggaragepodcast, @cggaragepodcast. But for now, please enjoy episode number 545 with Victor Varnado.
This episode of CG Garage is sponsored by CenterGrid Virtual Studio. Wondering why you went to film school just to be stuck managing hardware life cycles? CenterGrid delivers end-to-end GPU-accelerated cloud workstations built specifically for VFX and creative production, with flat, predictable pricing and personalized support from people who actually get your workflow. Plus, CenterGrid is TPN Gold Shield certified, so your studio's security is locked down. Check out what Virtual Studio can do for your pipeline at cgvirtualstudio.com. This episode of CG Garage is sponsored by Kitbash 3D, one of our favorite tools and an essential tool for 3D artists everywhere. With the largest library of cinematic quality production-ready 3D assets, Kitbash 3D ensures that your studio has the tools to build stunning environments quickly, efficiently, and at scale. Design detailed worlds in a fraction of the time without compromising on quality. Head to kitbash3d.com and use the code CGGarage at checkout for 10% off any kit. Again, that's kitbash3d.com, code CGGarage.
Well, thank you, Victor, for joining us. This is very interesting. I am very curious to know more about what you're up to and what you're doing in the world of media, and what are your thoughts are about the world of media today. So, but before we get started, how did you get involved in technology? You've got a big interest in technology. I know that from what I've been reading about you.
I've always been interested in technology since I was a kid. And then I was working mostly in just entertainment. And then when the pandemic hit, I kind of like went back to my roots and started some software and video game projects, and then they started to grow. And then so instead of being a media company, I was a tech and media company all of a sudden.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So what was the entertainment part? Like, what were you doing before the pandemic?
Let's see. So before the pandemic, I had just decided to stop working for other people and run my own production company.
Who were you
And
working
so
for?
I was working for the Love and Hip Hop franchise. I was a producer in the Love and Hip Hop franchise. I've worked for like VH1, True TV, Comedy Central. Like I've worked like I've had shows and stuff that I worked on like a lot of different networks. I was kind of like a gun for hire as a producer. And so then right before the pandemic, I was doing my own thing with my own production company. I just produced a game show for Penguin Random House and Facebook Watch called what is the name of that game show? It was a game show where people competing against each other in debate, and it was a nerd debate game show. Hold on, let me find out. I'm going to find out right now.
Yeah, you bet. This sounds like a game show I would both love to be on and fail horribly in.
Well, when it came out was right when the pandemic hit. So like nobody watched it because at the beginning of the pandemic, nobody watched anything. And when people figured out they're trapped in their houses, then suddenly like everybody started watching everything. But there was a time right at the beginning of the pandemic when everything that came out was just killed. And this was
we had made the mental transition. We were still experiencing like, maybe I can learn about bread making.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's called The Great Fantasy Debate. Okay, so The Great Fantasy Debate.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see the trailer and it's on Penguin Random House's YouTube channel right now.
Okay.
But it's
awesome.
Yeah, it was like...
I mean, you've been doing... You've been able to catch our audience up. You've been doing stand-up forever. You've been, you're an actor. You've worked with Stan Lee. Is that right? I read?
I did. Working with Stan Lee was, I mean, it wasn't like you might think. I had one phone call with Stan Lee, and then he sent me like two pages of a breakdown for a movie. Then I wrote the script, and then his name went first.
Nice.
That was working with Stan Lee.
That's a good gig for Stan right there. Not bad.
What was the project?
It was based on one of his original characters. It was when he and Marvel were fighting, and he had formed POW Entertainment, and then he was developing scripts based on his new original characters. It was a character called Golden Leopard or something like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
gotcha. Interesting. Okay, so that game show. So the pandemic hit, and you pivoted at this point. Is what you're basically telling me, right?
Yes, I was forced to do other things because I couldn't do what I normally do, which is produce. Like I produced. We produced a special, and then we had a sponsor for the special. The sponsor pulled out right at the last minute. Then we decided to move forward with the special. These are the two biggest negative things that happened to me over the last few years. So we decided to move forward with the special. The sponsor pulled out. The first offer we got was not what we wanted. So basically, my company ended up having to pay, for the special. All the keys on the special, the key people on the special, we deferred our salaries. But then, like, of course, all of the crew and all of the performers had to be paid. So that was like a huge kick in the nutsack. And then, and then also, I developed a patent for technology that I got a grant from the National Science Foundation from. Then this company called Infinite Reality bought it with shares when they were supposed to IPO.
I know Infinite Reality.
Yeah, they did not IPO, and now like they're in trouble and something's going on. So I just haven't gotten, the value from that.
Right.
And it's about it should be worth about $500,000 right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just don't have it.
What did you patent?
I patented an interface. I developed accessibility technology that helps people with disabilities play video games.
No, that's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, I also work in video games.
Can you tell us? Daniel works in video games, so I'm sure he'd be curious to know more about it.
I work in video games a lot. In fact, if you want to talk video games, I can talk to you about High Score Game Arcade later.
Oh, hell yeah. All right, let's do it. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so I had a friend who was paralyzed from the neck down. And he used to have people come over and they would play video games so he could watch it. And I was like, I want to make a game where he can control it. And so I was adapting voice controls to that can control just like other types of games. Because if you think about it, like, like the original Zelda is like up, down, left, right, sword, blah, 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 blah. Right. And then you could do whatever. And then that became a bigger system, where not only can someone speak to it, but then the system can take any visuals and then do a running commentary of those visuals, like a very similar to descriptive audio on a movie, but it does it to video games live,
Right.
like as it's happening.
Right.
And so you can talk back. So like theoretically, if a game is not like a crazy action game, but if it's like a turn-based game, like a blind person could play a turn-based game because it would completely describe the scenario in the screen, and then they could give their commands, which comes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like people should not miss out on XCOM 2 because they have visual impairment. That is that's missing out on one of the great happinesses you can have. It's like
I love XCOM. When was
man.
the last time I played XCOM 2? Not for a while. The original XCOM I played over and over and over again.
That's one of the best games of all time. Yeah, like XCOM 1 is not only like now you look at it now, it's like a brilliant work of art. It's hard to understand that when it first came out because you think like, oh, it's limited graphics and all this kind of stuff. Now it's like, it really looks elegant and retro and strange and beautiful. And the storytelling, the implicit storytelling in that game is so huge. Like you get like randomly get like 2 people in your crew with the same last name, and you'd be like, they're brothers.
I used to rename the crew after all of my friends and try to keep them alive,
Exactly. It's so good.
Sorry, I have a cat who's trying to jump in on the business, and I got to get him out of here.
No,
out of here, buddy.
No, we are also cat people. Luckily, my cat is sleeping right now, but otherwise we'd be in trouble.
You're lucky.
Yeah, that's
my cat is all about it. It's like, what are you doing? How can I fuck it up?
Yeah. Well, that's fascinating. So you developed this technology and you started to pivot, and you said you started to get more into technology and became more of a tech company as you started to move forward. So explain a little bit more
media.
about that.
I still do everything else. Like I still do stand up, I still act and stuff like that. But I'm also doing tech stuff. But then the thing that I'm doing also is I'm at the point right now where it's kind of like really converging, because all of the products that I create, like everything that I do now, the more eyes that I have on me, the more successful my company is. So the idea right now is just like, to start putting out more stuff.
Right. Well, I mean, and as
what are you making?
Right.
What?
Sorry, what are you making?
Here, I'll tell you the thing that I'm most excited about right now. It's High Score Game Arcade. Okay. So High Score Game Arcade, a long time ago when Wordle came out, and remember when everybody was playing Wordle, and I was like, wouldn't it be cool? Yeah, exactly. And I was like, wouldn't it be cool if you could play Wordle and it rated you against everyone else in the world? And then so I decided to make a video arcade site where I put out games, and then anyone in the world can play, and then there's it's just like the game and a leaderboard. That's what each page is, and that's it. It's like just like walking through a video arcade in the 80s. That's what I wanted to make. Right. And then, so I made that, and then right now we're doing a worldwide tic-tac-toe championship, and we just got a distribution deal because I created a tic-tac-toe arcade game. So like a one-player tic-tac-toe arcade game. It has a heuristic engine, so it rates your playing style. So like you can by how well you're playing and how well you're choosing the spaces, you can get a higher score than someone else. And so that's why it doesn't work like a solved game. It's a game where like you're playing and you're trying to make the best strategic moves.
It's more like the Moneyball of tic-tac-toe.
5 by 5.
Right. Yeah. Like it's tracking you over time.
So you can. Right. So then we showcased it at South by Southwest, and then we got a distribution deal. So now we're going to do a big relaunch of the Tic-Tac-Toe Championship, and then we're going to launch. I think we're going to be on like, on Samsung TVs and all kinds of stuff. Like we're going to be, we're working with a company. I don't want to say who the company is right now because we're like, we just made our final agreement and now we have to sign it. So I don't want to.
Sure. We get it. Absolutely.
but yeah, so like they have like 100 million monthly users because like they have access to all these platforms they can put our games on. So they want us, so it's going to be out there. And so like that is what I'm really excited about right now, that my video, I started it 2 years ago and just now it's like really kind of taking off.
Well, that actually sounds like I've been part of conversations where you can see that video games are trying to move into a different, like more Netflix-y space, because video games are so massively, they're just so huge, especially the growth of indie video games, where you have like really simple games, tic-tac-toe, for instance, like you can get, it's no longer, like AAA games are suffering because they are all kind of generic. They all look roughly the same. They all use the same engine and all this kind of stuff. But indie games, which are simpler or smaller to make, end up with these much, much bigger, more passionate followings, in the same way that people are passionate about, say, TV shows. And I've heard a lot of people talking about, like, how do you create a service that engages you more like the way that Netflix does, as opposed to the way that like Steam does. Steam is great, but it's still a very sort of like one-stop shop. Like you go and you buy a game and you leave. Whereas like having an integrated sort of global experience where you're comparing yourself against other people and like rating where you are in these games and having social interactions and having more of a social media experience with how you play games, I think is becoming way more interesting to people. I mean, outside of the fact that if I were talking to you about just the tic-tac-toe thing, is the moment you license the voice from war games, I'm going to be playing your game.
Well, that's actually what I want to do in the future. I want to do versions of old games that everybody has seen. Tic-tac-toe is in the public domain, so I was able to do that easily. But but I would love to do like, I would love to like go back, talk to the guys who made Qbert and then do like worldwide Qbert and do a version of that online too.
Absolutely.
But I mean, I can't but there's some things I can get to and some things I can't. I'm actually interested in getting to Oregon Trail.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. I used to have the greatest Oregon Trail t-shirt, and I could, if that were my entire like clothing line, I'd be a happy person. You have died of whatever. You have died of dysentery. Like that's what I would track on a competitive gaming thing for Oregon Trail, is like who can die the most of dysentery and how am I doing against dysentery. But yeah, as media, I mean, you come from a incredibly diverse background in terms of skill sets. I mean, you've appeared in movies with like Arnold Schwarzenegger to Werner Herzog. You're a stand-up comedian and all this stuff. Like, do you feel like this merging of, or the sort of like the blending of media, the way that it's happened, has this happened because of COVID, or is this because of the technologies that are available to us now?
I think that there's always been people who've blended media. There's always been people who are just like, putting a junkyard of different types of media together. And as more ways of creating art become available, then of course, like, I think people will just add it to their toolbox. Like, I feel like everything I've done has always been like basically kitbashing media.
Yeah.
And so, but I don't know how everybody else does their thing. Because I'm a real like solo dude. Like I work a lot by myself, and in fact, to the point where like even when I was developing that thing that became my patent and got the grant from the National Science Foundation, like I had no idea what the value was. I had no idea what other people were making, just because I kind of like go in a cave and develop things on my own.
But I mean, obviously the world's changing, right? The world is changing, especially the media world, right? And you said this, the pandemic happened and then everything changed, and people have to adapt. I don't know if the pandemic was the reason for everything to happen or if it was the catalyst for the change that needed to happen. But at some point, everyone is sort of looking at now and trying to figure out what the hell new Hollywood looks like. AI is obviously being very disruptive in a lot of ways. And I'm wondering how you feel about this as someone who's passionate about technology, passionate about media, and has been in that world both as a producer and as a technologist. What do you feel like the new world looks like at this point? And how do you feel that people like yourself or anyone else who wants to be interested in media fits into that world?
Well, I'm just excited for people to tell great stories, honestly. Like,
Thank you.
I think that like in the past, when technology has become more democratized, then eventually somebody comes forward and like starts telling really, really amazing stories with that, through that new technology. And like right now, like I've seen AI, and then an AI can be terrible, just like anything. And so like, but there are people who can use AI very well to tell great stories. That's what I'm interested in. Like I don't like, as far as like what people call like AI slop or whatever, just like, but that also happens without AI. Like, have you seen some people's
slop
screenplays?
exists
Like,
anyway.
Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, man.
We didn't call it slop. We just called it crappy TV or crappy movies.
Well, it's like, this is whenever we talk about AI, I always come to this where I'm just like, first of all, that like if you look at the front end of any streaming service, it's 99% slop. Like it's not like, you know, like everything on Netflix is wonderful. It's like 6 or 7 things are wonderful, and then there's like 16 seasons of a show you've never heard of and only seen the thumbnails, this kind of stuff, you know. And like,
Oh yeah.
and like, and the other side of it is like, we also have to admit that we love slop at least a little bit, otherwise it wouldn't work. like I will watch Love Is Blind at the end of the day, even though I think that Schindler's List is a better artistic experience. I don't want to do that at 5 p.m.
The stuff that I watch that is closest to slop is extremely violent anime.
Oh yeah,
Right.
That is
There you go.
a joy to me.
Yeah.
I worked on too many reality shows, so like I can't like
You just
Love
can't
Is
do that
Blind.
anymore. Yeah.
Love Is Blind, like
You're tapped out.
I just can't, because I know exactly how they work, and I know
Right.
and so I just can't.
Can we briefly talk about anime? Like, if you were to recommend, because like I'm more like a like 80s through the mid 90s anime guy. So like you know, like Angel's Egg, Ghost in the Shell, that kind of material. But I've been going back to my roots as a kid and rewatching all of Star Blazers, which I'm very excited about.
Nice.
But I'm looking for new stuff. What would you recommend now that you've been into?
That's new?
Yeah, or anything.
I mean, my favorite anime is Fully Cooley. Did you ever see the original?
Oh, Fully Cooley. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, Fully Cooley.
Yeah,
And did you see Dead Leaves after that?
No. Dead Leaves?
Same guys.
Oh, right on. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's good.
Dead Leaves
Okay.
is pretty crazy. He's a dude with a TV for a head.
Yeah. Okay. This is right up my alley. Thank you. This is really why we do the show, so I can get good recs.
Dead Leaves
This
is
what it's about.
great.
I started watching it. Speaking of, I love your mug, but it made me think of Assassination Classroom, which I also love.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen that. I saw the trailer for the thing. Yeah, Assassination Classroom looks great. It looks up my alley too.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I've actually, it's not necessarily, it's not definitely not Japanese anime, but I've been watching Invincible with my son.
Oh yeah, very good
Amazon.
show. Yeah,
and that's nice and violent. It's good.
Yes. Well,
God bless it.
I just want to tell you that I bought every issue of Invincible years ago before the show came out.
Yeah, before
so
it was cool.
I
You're
am
in.
righteous.
Absolutely.
I am righteous. Like, every time people are like, "Oh, I love Invincible," I was like, "Yeah, but you know about this?
Yeah.
You know,
But do you have the first
were you there? Squeezing the first pages as they came off the press? I was.
That's right. I was right there. Yeah. No, I
Actually,
like
most
that
of what I bought was digital, actually, on Comixology. Back when that was big.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Oh man, yeah, no, like I think that like I think what's great is that all these worlds. I think that like the thing that like COVID did do was like, because it isolated all of us, we got to get a little bit more, I don't know, niche and pervy about what we're into. Like we would just admit that we're into weirder stuff than we publicly normally admit, and that grew those niches. Like, and I think that that's kind of what happened, say, for indie video games, is like indie video games are on a big rise, and like when you have
So are
nothing
indie movies.
and indie movies, exactly. And like
Yeah.
once you're like I'm stuck at home and I've run out of all my normal stuff to watch, you start digging deeper into the catalog and you start finding weirder stuff, and there's no one there to judge you about it or make you feel weird or anything like this. So I'm just like I'm watching my Star Blazers, I'm doing whatever, and then that starts to have an effect on the market. Like you have like more artistic experimentation. Like I know young people now that are just like just getting into David Lynch, and like getting into like, and not just like the fun David Lynch, but like like the Inland Empire and Dumbland David Lynch, and like where they're just like I can't take just the regular stuff anymore. Like I can't watch the Marvel movies forever, and I need more interesting material. And I think it put us more in touch with like our own creative identity a little bit. And when you have someone who's a generalist like yourself, who has like multiple paths into this, it seems like that's where the real opportunities moving forward are. Because like everyone I hear who's had sort of like more of a pipeline job in the industry, they're the ones who are really freaked out about how disorganized things are in terms of business. But for people that have a broader experience, like they have a better chance of getting forward.
I feel like if you have something that can serve a global audience, especially like any niche in a global, like you're going to find enough people in the world if you're serving a global audience that are really into like your stupid thing. Like, the people who are really into, video games, like competitive video games. Like I definitely have people in our Discord from all over the world who are just like buddies because they fight in video games every day. And so you can find them if you want them.
This is a new way to like. I talk with my kid. I have 4 kids and like very wide range of ages, but they are each into a whole different kind of creative culture and video games. And so like I get this broad exposure to what's up, and I'm just like, this is so much better when I was than when I was their age. Like when I was there, it was just like, it's the Goonies or get the fuck out. It's like, and God bless the Goonies. But like, it took me till I was in my, mid 20s or later before I discovered even like David Cronenberg or any of that stuff. And I think that, what is happening for AAA video games versus indie video games, as Chris brought up, is like, this is what's happening for film. Like we're bored of the regular stuff. Like
Marty Supreme would never have been made 5 years ago.
Exactly.
Or never gotten to the level of screening that it got. So, I mean, Uncut Gems went straight to Netflix practically, right? It barely had a theatrical release, if it at all, right? So now I think that you see what's going on and you see the more interesting creative ideas and original thought. Thank you for original thought. It would be a good breakthrough, right?
And when you can keep those creative teams small, then that opens up markets for, because you can make, like, if you only have like 5 people that make your video game, or you're a sole, you're a sole creator, but it does really well, then that's your money. That's it.
You seem to approach niche in a really interesting way. So how do you find the niche and how do you expose yourself to the niche? Like what's your thing that you get there?
I don't make anything that I don't want personally.
Amen.
There you go.
So like everything I make is stuff that I like and or use. So like 100%.
Yeah.
And so it's all stuff that I like. I like video games. Every AI app that I make for creators are things that I use personally that help me. Like everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you. I mean, I have a very small disability, but I have dyslexia, and I'm starting to code things to help my dyslexia.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And or I'm coding it just for me because I can.
You're using Claude, right?
I'm using Claude. Yeah.
Right.
I made the most useful thing I think I've ever made. So I made a system which is like for me, I use it in my company internally. And it's like an office CRM system, but like basically after every meeting, the transcript is automatically sent to our system. We call it Cream Elizabeth. It's already automatically sent to Cream Elizabeth because CRM HCREAM. Cream. Okay, anyway, so it's automatically sent to Cream Elizabeth, and then Cream Elizabeth then divvies everything up by tasks and person and project, and does all of the work for us, so that nothing is ever lost from a meeting and everybody can pay attention at the meetings.
Right.
And then it puts it divvies up tasks, and I approve them, and then also it keeps a summary of the company's current goals based on the transcripts of the last like 3 to 5 meetings. And so like everyone can log into this. They can see what everyone else is doing. They can see what the company's current goals are. They have their task list set up, and then there's also a chat which has as much agency as a person. Like I built the chat thing with like it's got like maybe 16, 18 tools inside of it, and it can do like you can basically just log in and be like, what should I be doing? And it'll be like, this is what you're supposed to be working on.
Tell me this is what all humans want. They don't want to figure it out. They want to be told what to do.
But this, especially just have that in the morning. That's amazing.
This is especially because of my ADHD, because now I have like a list that is like categorized for me, and like just keep track of everything I'm working on. I can talk about the projects any way I want to, and the system can go through and organize all that crap, make notes, put it all in the right place. Yeah. And then it becomes a system where we can actually get things done.
Yeah, this is if I could just like be sitting and having my coffee in the morning, and my phone's like, "Hey, bro, listen, I know that you're enjoying yourself, but you got these 3 things to do before 10. You think maybe take it upstairs?" I'd be like, "All right, phone."
That's great. Now you just got me out of a job, because that's what I do.
That's right. That's Chris's word.
I can go to my system and be like, what's on my to-do list that are easy wins that I could do really fast?
Yes,
and it'll be
exactly.
Like, it'll tell you.
Yeah. Yes.
But
does it give you? And when you hit a check, you should hit a check mark, and then it gets a little fireworks every time you do it.
Yeah.
We do have fire. That's how I got everybody in my company to use it, by putting like when you click done, it's like confetti.
Yeah,
like when
you're animation. Yeah, it's great.
And then like this just recently happened. Like one of the people that I work with, Rebecca, she was like not into it until she saw the confetti, and she was like, "Oh, I'll use this. I like it."
Confetti. Yes. I'm going to get into a confetti competition with all my friends.
That's all you need is some confetti just to be motivated to do your job.
Also, there's stats. There's stats inside the company too.
Sure.
It's a huge motivator, man. That's the tic-tac-toe of it all. That's how it goes. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Yeah. Like, no, I think that the brilliance, like, I think, I started as a pen and ink illustrator, and I became an environments artist for film and painter and all this kind of stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's super fun. And but I write and I direct, and Chris produces the stuff that we do together. And we're giant movie nerds. But like we end up, interacting with a wide range of folks that have, pretty intense opinions about AI. And I feel like it's got to come to a point at some point down the road, people just have to go, this is helping me out in this very personal, specific way. And that's why I'm going to use this, as opposed to having these big, broad, angry, philosophical debates about it. Like finding the things that actually help you do work and be more creative. Like that's the stuff that we should all be choosing to do, because like, I think that
it's so hard though. I mean, I told this story to you, Daniel, but I know I was at the movies this weekend, and a big IMAX theater, right? And suddenly an ad for Claude came up, and half the audience booed at the screen.
Right.
Right. And it wasn't necessarily because of Claude. It was because, and especially the younger ones, right? Younger people under 25, they feel that AI is the devil, no matter what. And I've actually spoken to someone that I know who's a younger person who says, I cannot, they use a lot of AI for work, or they help work with stuff that helps train AI. And they're like, I cannot tell my friends what I do because it's considered evil.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's weird to have that dichotomy, because they're, like I go on LinkedIn a lot. I do a lot of business stuff. Obviously, I'm going on LinkedIn. The LinkedIn world is like completely ignoring the fact that a vast majority of the people they're targeting see what they do as evil. And
it's a business
and
problem
I'm just
right
like,
there.
I just want to write code so that I can help me
Right.
read better. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
It's
I
so
just
dumb.
don't
I think that
understand.
it's very fire bad syndrome. It's just like
Mhm.
people are like, yeah, it's just like it because AI is a utility, and it's a utility and a tool. It can be good or bad in anyone's hands.
Right.
We've detailed more proteins than we ever have ever. It's
Yes.
going to help us eat, live. Like
Mhm.
there's lots of great stuff.
Right.
But it's like
Yeah,
it's
my
fire bad
sisters
syndrome.
probably survived breast cancer because of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
I mean, they detected breast cancer significantly earlier than it would have been possible without AI.
I 100% believe it. Like I think can I say what I'm really interested in doing? I mean, I do not have the time for this, but I would love to use AI to try and solve cold cases, like just to see
Oh,
what
dude,
I
that's
could
going to be
do.
a whole thing.
I know.
Okay, first of
I
all,
really
like,
want to do that.
like that is by itself a great idea for a fictional show. Like, just do that, and then it's already like if that's sort of like a near sci-fi show, I'm already subscribing to this channel.
Oh, it's such a simple, fun idea. Like it would be. I mean, I think it should be a real show to like have an expert in AI and then just cold cases because like who are you hurting? Like trying to solve
run
a
all
cold
of
case.
JFK files through
Well,
that and stuff.
I think there's
slow
certain
them
things
down.
that can't necessarily. I mean, listen, they tried to use AI to cut government funding with Doge, and that didn't work too well. So,
Well, yeah, I think they
Well,
had
no,
other
I
things
mean
in mind with
you need to
Doge.
actually. I mean, unfortunately, you need people who actually know what they're doing. I had a friend
Sure.
who was trying to get a job at CNN, and
right.
and they before they hired him, they used some company to scour his social media with AI. The company delivered a report to CNN that was inaccurate, which said, I think he said he was something like, "I'm going to shoot the shit with my friends," and they said "shoot" is a violent word, but it was obviously used wrong. So they didn't.
Right.
So they didn't do their AI scan correctly and have correct checks. But they knew more than whomever they sold it to at CNN.
Right.
So like nobody knew what they were doing, and that's like what I think is the craziest thing about it. The most dangerous thing about AI right now is like people who know a lot but not enough about AI and think they know everything.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
then
if you give a chainsaw to a 5-year-old, that's
services
not a
to
good
people.
logger. Yeah, it's like that's definitely the way it works. You know, I mean, but like think about like what you're saying is like, you know, in like if you use AI as a tool, then it's very helpful. But you do have to know what you are doing with the tool. It's like it
Oh
doesn't.
yeah,
You know, if you don't know how to use the tool, then you're as useless as not having the tool.
people are using AI to make financial apps, but they themselves don't understand finance. So the AI will be making decisions or suggesting things that are way above their expertise. So then they just make crappy things.
Yeah,
It's just it's like people need to know what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. You know, the thing I always say here is like if you have a producer who's like, I got this new AI machine and all I do is hit the button and it gives me a whole screenplay, right? Like if that thing if it could randomly generate something as good as like Chinatown and just gives it to you, if you don't know that Chinatown is a good screenplay, you have not been helped. You'll throw it out and keep on hitting the button.
Agreed.
You know? And like that's just the way. Like you have to actually have taste and skill. Just as always, that's the way it works. And I think that I think that a huge part of what is happening, and I try to be as empathic as possible, but I'm like, a huge part of what is happening for people is that because these technologies are tied to, like, they seem tied to political ideologies and unpleasant people who lead the companies and stuff like this, that people would rather just be like, I'm going to be hands off. And I'm like, if you're not driving the boat on this, then Elon Musk is going to be driving the boat, which is what you don't want. That's what you said you don't want. Whereas what you want to do is make use of it. And the demand that you're putting on that tool to be a better tool is what will make them money. So they will do what you want. That's how the business of that works. You know, it's like I would not be using Photoshop, except that Photoshop is responsive to the things I need Photoshop to do. Like it doesn't do the work for. It can't do the work for me. You know, and you need to set up a relationship with these things, with these tools, that they change to fit your needs as a creative. which is essentially the like the pressure on video games is like video games are now popular enough that consideration of like, how do we make sure that this is accessible for everybody? Like, how do we do this? How do we bring this within a financial feasibility? Who do we get involved to make this happen? Because video games aren't some weird niche little thing that we can't do that kind of support. They're global and they're growing. And having things like AI makes this far more possible. And being able to see that is what these new careers are going to be about. And when they throw up their hands, I don't know what to tell them. Like,
I know. We need to just punch everybody in the face. That's what I think.
I'm voting for that. Put up a leaderboard on this. I'm in, man. I'm in.
So what are you up to now? What are some of the things you're up to at these times?
The biggest thing I'm up to right now is growing High Score Game Arcade, because I have like it got bigger, so we have like new investors behind it, so it's growing.
Great.
Then I'm focusing on that, and then a lot of the other projects I have, I'm actually trying to like bundle them up and sell them, because I did some, for instance, when you're talking about a screenplay writer, so I've been writing software that helps creatives write stuff, but then I create the software different than I have seen other like AI writing software. I tried to make something that was useful to me. And so as a result, I have a lot of AI writing software, like different types that have value proposition that is unique as far in the world of AI writing software. And so I'm trying to bundle those up and sell them, and I'm actually trying to figure out like how to get a hold of like Canva or something like that, like somebody big, because like I'm a guy who like, I mean, I make interesting technology things, like, my patents, like whatever, video games, whatever. I make interesting technology, and this is no different. And so I'm just trying to like figure out how to get rid of that. Not get rid of it, but I'm just like, I need to focus on High Score Game Arcade, so I can't focus on everything. So
yeah. That's it.
So
That's
how do you fight
the
the copyright issue with writing and AI writing tools?
The copyright issue? Which one?
Well, there's a lot of people saying if this was written with AI, you can't copyright it, right? Or if this was a graphic novel that uses AI, it's not copyrightable. That's been in certain cases, that's been sort of defined by some of the courts.
I know exactly what you're talking about, because of course I have these apps, so I've definitely researched everything. So you can copyright things that you use AI to write easily, but the idea.
So explain how you get around that stuff, or what you do for that.
For instance, if I use AI to make a rough draft and then I polish the draft and finalize it myself, I can copyright it. If you create AI with your own original story, like you create a story that's your own original story, and you use that as the prompting for AI, you can copyright it. Like it's writing. Like, people feel some kind of way about stuff, but in the same way that you can copyright any photo when you just take a picture and you don't necessarily like, you don't even have to set up the camera, but you can click any photo and copyright any photo, and that's what's going to happen with AI in the future. Because right now I think that what it is people are fine with having content copywritten that uses AI in the process when they know that the artist has done like extensive work with that art. Like, for instance, the CG art of Beeple, like a lot of his stuff was AI and CG and whatever, but obviously he put work into it. That's what happened. I wish I knew exactly. I wish I knew exactly who this was, but like, I think it was like 25 or 30 years before they let the first photo be copywritten, because they were saying the same thing about photos. Right. They were just like, oh, you're not involved in the creative process. And then somebody took a photo and they were like, that guy knows what he's doing, and they copywrote it. It was like a photo of some famous author at the time. Right. And then after that, now if your camera goes off accidentally in your back pocket, you can also copyright that. Right. So I think that is going to get to the point where people are just going to be like, okay, if people are the origin of something, then they're going to be able to copyright it.
Yeah.
I think it's fascinating. I don't know if you know this case, but there's a photographer that tried to copyright a photo when a monkey stole his phone and accidentally took a selfie of itself with the phone.
Oh, I know that story. Yes.
Right. So does he own the photograph or does the monkey own the photograph because the monkey is the one that pushed the button, right?
The monkey is not part of our legal system in terms of finances, so I'd say it's him.
But it's kind of fascinating to think about that as a legal case, right?
Yeah. Like I think that if you're the person who recognizes that there's art to a thing, like the monkey does not it's not intending to make art. It is just a random thing the monkey did. But if you look at it and you're like, I'm putting this in the moment you put it in a frame, even conceptually, you're the one who's saying, consider what this means. A monkey took this picture. Like that, the artistic event of that is you framing it, not the monkey taking it. Monkey's just doing something that random monkeys do. You're the one who's calling attention to this element, right? The monkey is just like, well, I don't read my own reviews, but I am anxious to hear what you think. Like, but
you don't have to. You don't even have to do that though. You can copyright. Right. You can make an errant drawing on a piece of paper.
And it's yours.
Yeah. So people are just against AI and the process. I get it, but I don't think that it is an issue to copyright something where AI was part of the process. And I don't even. If someone wants to copyright, like if someone puts 2 words down, and then AI creates something, and then they want to copyright it as theirs, fine. I really do not care because I know that I'm an artist, and if I take any tool, I can usually do something different than other people can do with the same tool. Mm-hmm. Many people can hammer a nail. Not everybody can use a hammer to sculpt. So,
right. Exactly. Yeah, I think that there's a level of how can I say it? Like that people get mixed up on this idea of craft. And because being an artist my whole life, it took me a long time to learn to draw with pen and ink really well, right? And so people think that, and a lot of people I know who are illustrators think that the art of what we do is in the craft of how we do it. And that's, to me, not where the art lies. The art lies in me. Like, this is, like, my opinion of when this is ready to be shown is like, that's when I'm taking the photo, essentially, which I'm just like, this is when it is beautiful according to me. And now I'm selling it, right? That is essentially what I am copywriting, is my intention in that moment when I say this is done. Right. Mm-hmm. The craft is wonderful, and you can clock time on how much time you put in. But then if you like the way that artists think about it, many artists I know think about it, like, well, you put something like the more craft and time you put into it. Well, there are great Chinese masters of watercolor that take 8 seconds to paint something. So is that worth less? Like, you have to think about it in terms of what the meaning is that you are capturing. Like, that's really what is there. And so when you take some other, say, if you're sampling,
we've had this debate forever. My God,
way before AI.
Duchamp puts
right?
a urinal up in a museum, and that was the whole debate: whether is it art or is it not art? Right. So the craft and art debate has been going on forever, and we seem to have forgotten it. Right? It's like just because I'm good at going into Blender and making a model of a buxom lady with a sword doesn't mean I'm an artist, right? I mean, it's like,
I mean, maybe,
but I mean, I think there's more, maybe, but I mean,
art is super subjective. I actually don't agree with like most of what you just said. I mean, I do agree with it that it can be the thing, but also art is often viewed without the artist around. Things that are never meant to be art are viewed as art. Things that are unfinished are also viewed as art. Like I think there's a million circumstances. Like it's super subjective, and I don't know. Like I've never been able to label exactly what is art for other people. I know what I think is art.
I would say that is the only definition of art. Like that it is correct. It is your experience. Like that's it. If you're looking at a work of art, like you didn't make it, you're looking at it, but it has meaning to you. It has successfully arted.
Right.
Like,
But even things that I hate and I think are not art are sometimes art.
exactly.
Because other people believe they're art.
Exactly. Yeah. Like it's the vaguest possible thing in the world. And so we have to look at that with the best intentions. Like, and the thing is, like, if you couldn't use other people's, imagery that, like the Mona Lisa or whatever it is, like, if you can't say, like, I forgot the song. There's a great, hip hop song that samples Taxi Driver, and uses the theme song of Taxi Driver as part of the song, so that Bernard Herrmann, like, dun 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 dun, right? And I'm like, if you, like, it sounds cool all by itself because it's a great sample, but if you're listening to what the song is about and you know what Taxi Driver is, then it creates a third idea in your mind that didn't exist, that doesn't come with simply the song or with Taxi Driver. It creates a new thing. And that's why the song is amazing. Like, and like, it's just a stone cold 4-second sample from Taxi Driver, right? But it is not Taxi Driver. It is the fact that it was sampled from Taxi Driver that means something new in this context. That is what the art is of it, right? And so when people say like, oh, but this is just mixing up a bunch of stuff, right? And like, sampling things from a bunch of different documents, like, that's what we all do, dude. All the time. How do you think I learned to draw? I invented drawing.
This is so funny. This is like your meat and potatoes soapbox.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You have no idea.
This is where you're most comfortable.
I am so excited. Like, I get so, this is me on low. This is me.
This is great.
Like, I get Chris's scene. I get so ranty. He's just like, I'm just going to record this separately. And we'll put it out on YouTube. It's fine.
Yes. I wanted to tell you that I'm a filmmaker too.
Yes.
And, I run the Iron Mule. I'm a co-producer of the Iron Mule Comedy Film Festival in New York. We do a screening every month.
Nice.
A short comedy film screening. If you're ever in New York, definitely let me know and I will put you on the guest list.
Awesome. What is the what's the overall on what the like, what are you looking for specific things in the film festival, or what's the
comedy film festival? Comedy shorts.
Right. This comedy is awesome. Shorts. And now you also teach filmmaking. Is that true? Or you have?
Yes, I did, and I hated it, and then so I stopped.
Oh, what did you hate about it? I'm interested.
I thought that the students were dumb. And
awesome. And their films were terrible.
Yeah, and their films were terrible. That is 100% true. And I was just so mad. And then I would be like, can you see the difference between this and professional work? Can you like why would you hand this in and think that, like, does this seem like, because I'm just like, they want to work in a professional world. Like, what are you, dude? I don't even, I mean, but here's the thing. They were trying, but at the college level, come on.
Yeah, you gotta figure it out. You gotta figure it out.
Were they not susceptible to criticism?
Oh, they were. They complained about me.
So they're not. So they do not like criticism.
They do not like criticism. Yes, yeah.
But I was very punk rock coming in as an adjunct professor, because I'm just like, I hate school. I hate school. I hate organizations of any kind. And so, like, when I came in, I refused to fill out paperwork. For the staff, like the guy who brought me in, I was like, you fill out the paperwork if you want me to teach. And I was like, I was so against being there. And then when I was teaching class, I was really like excited the first day.
Sure.
I mean, I've taught classes before where I've had like the happiest time teaching classes. And that was when I taught 13-year-olds how to make video games. Every fucking person was just like leaning forward with their eyes like wide open, like, tell me more. Like that was the best class I ever taught.
Yeah.
But then teaching 18-year-olds how to write screenplays, not so much.
Just murder. It's just terrible.
I taught a class. I was long time ago. I was teaching a class over at Rice University, and it was the first time I ever taught. And I was like, it was a 3D class. So it was like, again, a long time ago. And I sort of went to the black. I was like, okay, before we get on the computer, I'm going to talk to you some basic terms of 3D, so you guys understand this. And I was putting down rotation, translation, and scale, putting that up on the whiteboard. And I turned around and I saw everyone writing it down on their notebooks, and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, dude.
They're all writing it down. I better get this right.
Yeah, right.
It was one of the scariest things I think I did. But there is a new era, right? Filmmaking, video games, technology, all of that is going into a new era, and I think this, you definitely seem like you're focusing on what that new era is. What do you feel is if you're going to be a creator of some kind in this new era, what are the skill sets do you think are necessary for people to nurture?
I think every creator should really learn how to run a business or be an entrepreneur. I
Yeah.
think, unless you want to work for somebody else. But if you don't want to work, if you want to, I think it's actually not that hard to make a living as a solo creator nowadays if you use the whole world as your potential audience. If you learn how to use the internet to sell yourself or your work.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Well, here's my favorite story is there's this artist named 1000, and he started by just doing commission work on Instagram, which did two things. People would watch him do commission work and then would order work when they saw him doing commission work. And so he immediately started cash positive with only a few viewers. If you think about that, like as a product, like he's like
this is a good
people
model.
wanted. Yeah, exactly. Great model. Yeah. So he continued to do that for like, I think, a year and a half. Then he launched a Kickstarter where he did a card set, like a playing cards, and made like, I think, $5 million.
Yeah.
So he started out cash pos. So he, as a solo creator, had no money, started an Instagram, started making money like hundreds and thousands of dollars a month, which is not a crazy amount, but like he started cash positive as a creator, then built it, did a Kickstarter, became a millionaire.
Yep.
And now he's just going crazy.
Yeah.
And so that's like a really simple example. If like you're just like an artist, you could follow that exact same model. And there's I mean, unless you completely suck as an artist.
Right.
But I mean, that's a simple model that anyone could follow. Right.
Sure.
Well, I mean, it's like
what about as a filmmaker?
As a filmmaker, I mean, there's a lot of ways. I'm a filmmaker. One of the things I'm doing, I'm doing it in a roundabout way, which is, for instance, I'm creating properties now in media that I can then also make video games of, and then I can distribute it with this company to 100 million unique users. So I'm basically trying to, I'm right now developing like web cartoon ideas so that I can turn them into video games specifically, just because.
So video games seems to be a good medium for you to be able to distribute more easily than actually trying to produce a film.
I'll tell you what's weird about video games is, so I didn't even know this, you could do this, but you can sign with a distribution company that distributes like web games. And then the company that we're signing with, they're like, yeah, you're going to be on every Samsung TV. Do you know how hard it would be to get a video on every Samsung TV?
Yeah, exactly.
And this video game thing, like it came together in like 3 weeks because they service a huge, like they service millions and millions of people, but it's software. I think they have like maybe 8 people in their company.
Right.
It's crazy. Like it's like a back door into like this gigantic market.
Yep. Yeah. No, because I agree with you. I think that there's that, like it's like the what's it, Iron Lung by Markiplier. Like this guy. It's just a brilliant model. He's accessing. He's doing YouTube videos in which he clearly wants to become a filmmaker, right? But he's leveraging his love of video games while he's doing this. He's growing that audience. He's selling merch based on just his show. He gets everybody to gets all of his fans to come see the movie that he worked out the distribution deal for, without having to go through anybody else. Like you're now able to control the entire distribution pipeline with only a few people.
Yep.
And that means there's more money for everybody involved.
What about that's actually a good point, Daniel. You've worked in traditional media. You've seen the people, that have done this. There's a million middlemen that are lining their pockets as things get distributed from creative to distribution. That is changing. Like, do you feel that change, and how do you address that change, and where that's going right now? Because before you had to ask permission to get your movie done. You had to go around going from studio to studio, please make my movie, right? Now you don't have to do that. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I love it. That's how I've been making stuff in the past too. When I made the Awkward Comedy Show is a special that I made where at the time I submitted it to Comedy Central. It was just like me and all of my black comedian nerd friends. So we're all like black nerd comedians. It was me, Hannibal Buress, Eric Andre,
right,
Baron Vaughn, and Marina Franklin. And then so that was made like, shoestring budget. Like it was like my first like big professional thing that I did like as an indie producer. Like that's the way I've been operating always. So I'm completely excited about it. And in fact, I've actually, because I've been so busy with the video game thing, I've been kind of like putting together like a very simple rig for shooting short films, where basically I just have like a nice phone, and then 2 wireless mics I hook into it, and I'm just going out and shooting, improvising things with people, just so I can shoot fast and just like put stuff together, because I just want to keep making films. So like, I love getting down and dirty in guerrilla style, 100%.
Oh, that's the way to roll, dude. Absolutely. I mean,
we've almost been arrested in HLA. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah, it's great. It's a good time. That's the way to do it. But I mean, like you want to be in a situation like with Steven Soderbergh. Steven Soderbergh even though he's now a bazillionaire and he's like making giant movies, like he just goes and makes movies anyway. You know, like it was like he dropped like Black Bag and Presents within like a month of each other, and I didn't even know he was working on them. I was like, that's the proper mindset. Now he focused on like once he did the Ocean's 11's thing and all that stuff, like he had a cash machine rolling that way. But that's just thinking of a large scale good business model. You know, like that's all you have to do. Like you said, like start from a cash positive point, and then just work on growing that. Don't try to catch up with yourself all the time. Like, people want to see this stuff.
Yeah, I think like I think that there's ways to like, it really is just like you need to find the right people, because there's always someone willing to pay you for something.
Yeah.
And for instance, there are foreign distribution companies that will do like pre-buys on movies. Like if like they're saying like, we want a movie with a tank in it. And so if you make a movie with a tank in it and it's under a certain amount of money, they'll buy it. You know, like that's how some distributors do that. Or they're like, we're doing superhero knockoffs now, or we're doing this, that, the other thing. And like, as long as you make a movie with this thing in it, which is what we can sell for this amount of money.
Right.
And then if you can do that, I mean, if you can do that, like what a great way to be a filmmaker, and then like have something that sustains you until you get your first hit.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. It's the Roger Corman model, right? It's the
Roger Corman. That was also Woody Allen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Oh, well, what are you going to do? Roger's still cool. I got to come back. Trombone in every conversation we have.
Yeah.
But I get to work on a Roger Corman picture. I heard Roger Corman on a speakerphone for like 3 minutes, and he was talking to the director, and he goes, so listen, I saw the cut of the movie, and I think it's wonderful. I just want you to consider maybe moving the shower scene to the first scene, so we have nudity up front, and then the rest of it's fine.
Go Roger Corman.
I was like, you're a genius. There's a reason why you're a billionaire.
That's really funny. That's really, really funny. Roger Corman, oh my God, he's done some crazy stuff.
Oh,
I remember Videodrome back in the day.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like Corman kicked off the careers of so many like really talented people. Like it's insane. But like he's just like, listen, I love art. Art's wonderful, but what I love even more is having a really nice house. So he set up a business that enabled him to make a lot of money, and occasionally on the side he would also end up with people that were really talented that made art. But like for him, it was just like, we have a business model. I am the business model, you know. And within that framework, it's like the tank movie. We want a movie with tanks. Okay, You can also make a good movie with tanks as long as you get the tanks in there, and then we're fine.
Did Roger Corman do From Beyond? Is that Roger Corman?
I believe he.
Man,
I think he
movie's
produced
awesome.
That. Yeah,
that movie's awesome. When they twist that guy's head off.
Oh, dude, From Beyond is insane. I mean, it's the same director as what do you call it? Reanimator, right? Like, that's some of the best stuff in the world. Like,
yeah, it's so funny. Oh my
I
gosh.
wish they made movies like that today. I miss those days.
I haven't seen the cosmic horror movies that Nicolas Cage has been making, like where he like.
Color Out of Space.
Yeah, I haven't seen them. Are they good?
Yeah, it's good. And actually, I'm a big fan of the one he did with Panos Cosmatos called Mandy. Yeah, Mandy's really good. Yeah, Mandy's really wild. It's like it verges on being an art film, but it still delivers the 8-foot chainsaw. Like, it's all I ask for.
Nice.
You know,
awesome.
Like, tanks.
I'm excited about it.
8-foot chainsaw. Then make art. Not a problem.
What do you think I mean, I love the fact that you said that people should learn to be an entrepreneur, right? I think that's a really good thing, especially in the media world. I think this is an opportunity for people to find new media, right? I think there's going to be a new media zone that's happening. And I think you're absolutely right that being an entrepreneur is a key part of it. What do you think are some of the things that you've learned in terms of being an entrepreneur that you could pass on to people so that if they have an idea, they feel empowered by that?
Well, I think that artists should be paid, and you can pay yourself. The easiest way to have a sustained life as an artist is to build some sort of sustainable business around your art, hire yourself and pay yourself a good salary, then you can never be fired. Mm-hmm. And then you can very quickly get to a place that feels like being wealthy, even if it's not necessarily wealthy. But if you're able to pay yourself, say, like $100,000 a year as an artist, and that's your salary, great. I would say if you want, the easiest thing to do is have an email list, because if you have an email list, that's a great way to make money. Look it up. There's a lot of stuff. I wrote an article about what's called a hybrid newsletter. A hybrid newsletter is a newsletter where it's like a newsletter, but you stick it together with some other money-making service. For instance, like, say you had a newsletter around your artwork, okay? And then every time people bought a piece of artwork, even the smallest one, they ended up on your newsletter. So what you're doing is whatever that newsletter, whatever that portal is, whether it's like your artwork, or for us, it's like video games, High Score Game Arcade, like everybody who signs up, they end up on a newsletter that's about video games. What you're doing is you're getting a niche group of people who, in some cases, have demonstrated that they're willing to pay money for that niche thing. And then once you have a whole bunch of people on an email list, then email is different from YouTube, because in YouTube, they give you ads and you can make money with YouTube, but people have to come to you. With an email list, once people are on your email list, you can send out to them, you control the cadence of how you make money.
Yeah.
So if you have a good sized email list, you can know how much money you will make. By selling them products, ads, et cetera, et cetera. I have an email list right now where, like, it is an email list and everybody on the email list are interested in being writers. And so anytime I send any product that's about writing, a certain number of people will just always buy it, no matter what. And that it's an email list where I can just always turn to it and be like, hey, this is, I can send something out and I know that it's going to make like $3,000 to $5,000 in a week if I do an email campaign.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think that's excellent advice. I feel like that artists, like, especially, what a lot of artists now are realizing is the industry itself is contracting in a way that is forcing you to think, if I want to keep doing this, I have to do it myself. And most artists are afraid of doing their own business.
They're also terrible at it.
And they're largely terrible at it.
And I was too. I've done some very, very bad things. Like, I should have put things in the contract that would have kept my patent from being wrapped up by those guys forever. Sure. Like, I didn't know, and I learn as I go. But yeah, it's like, I think that people just need to learn, and I've been asked by many artists, like, to kind of help them do their thing, which I don't have time for, unfortunately. But yeah, it's like, I think there is a huge opportunity for people who understand business to monetize artists. Like right now, if I wanted to, if I have a friend who does great portrait paintings, right? They do great portrait paintings. They'll do like a 3-foot by 2-foot portrait painting for $2,000, say. Okay. I could run Facebook ads and find so many people who would pay $2,000 to have a good portrait of themselves painted. There's so many people, you know, buy it for your sugar baby to impress her,
Right.
you know, like whatever. There's so many people who would pay for it. And so like if I had an artist who just did great portrait paintings and they wanted to do like 2 or 3 a month, like I could easily set that up and pay that person forever. And any artist could do it for themselves, but they just don't know how.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's like the David Bowie thing, man. It's like there's the artist David Bowie and there's the business person David Bowie. And that's why the artist person David Bowie was so successful.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to use my business so they can do more art.
And that's it. That's what it's all about. Victor, it's awesome to talk to you, man. Thank you so much for being on. This is absolutely fantastic.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, we'll put all your details and your contact information in the show notes of the.
Send me info about your movie stuff. I want to check it out.
Yeah. No, I think
Yeah,
you dig
we'll
it.
tell you. If we've got a company that Daniel and I have started called Monstrous Moonshine, which is our production company, and we're producing films. And we're starting with a classic Western, which is exactly what we're trying to develop because we feel that. Like a chef, right? If you get the omelet right, then you can do.
If you get the simple thing
right.
right, then you know you're doing.
The Western is the thing to start with.
Could you plug your short film festival one more time? Because I want to check it out immediately.
Iron Mule. IronMuleNYC.com.
Awesome.
Short film festival. Go check it out, everybody.
Excellent.
All right.
Well,
thank you, Victor, so much.
Excellent.
Thanks for having me.
We're building new Hollywood like in 1971's prime. From authors' bold dreams to AI's fever dream, where tech meets the silver or LED screen. Pixels and passion are pipelines unknown to host one show on a deadline postponed.